What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Scarlet and Violet discussion video, because apparently I don't record on multiple different days. I just record a bunch in one sitting now. I want to talk about some of the Pokemon that are returning that I mentioned a couple videos ago, and some ideas that I thought might be kind of cool for them with the upcoming VGC season, because well, even for singles I guess too, because I think Fortress is on there. I don't remember. Anyways, going back to my train of thought there, I want to talk about some Pokemon that I think could be cool in a regional dex format. We usually are limited to the main Pokédex of said region, hence regional dex format. So let's jump on into Showdown. And also, for a quick disclaimer, and I also apologize with the Fortress comment, if you are not following the news or want to go into this blind, not the video for you, unfortunately. Probably best to click away. That said, if you are keeping up with the news and want to talk and have some fun with this, pull up a chair. So let's jump into Showdown. Another disclaimer here. There's a lot more stronger mons than what's on this list. This is kind of more of like some spice picks and maybe some fun to try out. Basically, I think the list stops with Kalos. I don't think I did anything from Alola onwards, because most Alola stuff and Galar stuff are moderately recent. Cries and Minior. Yeah, anyways. I mean, some things from Alola did make it into Gen 8, but anyways. Probably some ideas for some older things. So anyways, first on the list here, we have Persian. Persian's got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart. Spart. I don't know why I said Spart. Guess spot and heart are now the same word, apparently. Anyways, Persian's got a soft spot in my heart here. I used it on a Solgaleo team with Dynamax, with Sword and Shield, and it wasn't terrible. Let that sink in. I actually won matches with Kanto Persian. Anyways, so what I was thinking here was Technician is a fun little ability, because, you know, moves that are 60% or 60 base power and less, they get extra stab, because they get a 1.5 times boost, and they tip if you can match your stab, even better. So Covet can be fun, because my idea for Persian here is have Persian basically steal something's item, because items can be problematic depending on how your opponent utilizes them. If you want to steal the item, then you can make things nicer. For example, maybe something has an Eviolite that makes it ridiculously bulky. Like, for example, think about Porygon 2. Well, if Persian gets rid of its normal gem with, say, Fake Out first, frees up its own item slot, now you can basically steal Eviolite off of Porygon 2, and now Porygon 2's defenses become a lot more manageable, a lot easier for Persian's opponent or partner to take it out. That was mainly what I was thinking here. And also, Persian does not have that good of an attack stat. It has 70, and it has 65 special attack. So what I was thinking was Foul Play could be fun, because it uses the opponent's attack stat to calculate the damage instead of Persian's. There's a lot of things out there with higher than 70 attack. I mean, that's also part of the reason too why, if you're not running a physical user, that you run 0 IV attack. Basic trivia right there. Yeah, anyways, that's what I was thinking of Persian. That could be kind of fun. Golduck. I'm really excited about Golduck. I really cannot stress this enough. Slap a Terra water type on it. Put it next to a Pelipper. Have fun. Scald can be nice, because you're looking at terrestrializing into the rain. Water type moves do 50% more damage. If you're a Terra water type, well, now you're getting double your base power instead of a 50% boost from stab. So now you're looking at 160 just from the terrestrialization. Plus, if you're getting rain on the field, that's another 50% boost. That's going to be doing a lot of damage. And that's why I have Scald on here instead of Hydro Pump, because at that point you don't really need that excessive damage that Hydro Pump would give you, because Hydro Pump's also a lot less accurate than Scald. Another idea too that you could do for Golduck is, if you have Colossal, you can run Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet would be nice. If you're a 0 attack IV'd Golduck with, say, maybe a Timid Nature, that's 78. You're probably not doing much to Colossal, especially if Colossal is your Terra candidate. So that's what I was thinking. You can use Golduck to maybe set up Colossal, or maybe even use it as a combination. I had Psyshock and Ice Beam on here because that was mainly what I was thinking for coverage. But you could probably even like take Psyshock off, run Ice Beam and Scald, and then that way Golduck is not doing one thing or the other. You could run Aqua Jet there, and who knows, maybe you have a Focus Sash opponent and they have priority. You're low HP because you're a Golduck. You have 80 special defense and 78 defense. You're probably not tanking many hits. Although 80 HP is pretty respectable. If you want to get around the priority wars, you have your Aqua Jet. If you have rain on the field, you're going to be outspeeding things. That's pretty nice. So yeah, anyways, that's mainly what I was thinking about Golduck. And then even item-wise too, you could probably, maybe not so much with the Aqua Jet, but you could probably run a Life Orb, do Scald, Terra-type Water. You'll do a lot of damage. Venomoth. So, Venomoth, I was thinking two different things with it. You could run it with Tinted Lens, which gives you a double damage boosted attack that's not, when it's not very effective. So basically, now all your not very effective attacks might as well be neutral, because now even with the resistance, you're still doing a lot of damage. You can go for Quiver Dance, base 90 speed and special attack. That's really nice. If we just slap a Timid Nature on there, well, that populated as modest, but anyways, even better. 142. That might be an interesting number there to think about. Hold on one second. 142 speed. 142 times 1.5. You now speed tie with a Dragapult. Congratulations. One Quiver Dance will let you speed tie a Dragapult. Switch that to Demid. There you go. You now outspeed a Dragapult. That's what I was thinking there with Quiver Dance. You could run Sludge Bomb because poison damage is pretty good for fairies. Bug Buzz. It's a fun move. I like Bug Buzz. Venomoth does get Giga Drain too, which might be interesting. But at the same time, it's super frail, so I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't really get if you didn't really get as much benefit out of Giga Drain, because, you know, it's a Venomoth. It does get Baton Pass, which is fun. Baton Pass, Quiver Dance boosts into something else. That's a scary combination. And what I was also thinking for Venomoth too is its hidden ability is Wonder Skin, which status moves with accuracy checks are now 50% accurate when used on the Pokemon having the Wonder Skin. So basically, for example, if you're using a move like, say, Thunder Wave, that's only 50% accurate now. That's pretty big if you think about it, because now you're potentially dodging status conditions. If your opponent is trying to taunt you, well, taunt might not work. Now you get your Quiver Dance. Obviously, you're still running a Focus Sash on this thing because, yeah, You're Venomoth. I cannot stress that enough. You are a Venomoth. Your durability is non-existent. That 4 EVs into special defense, that might as well be 4 EVs into attack, because you're not benefiting from that at all. Regardless, basically you just need the 252. The extra 4 probably not helping you. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before in the past, but yeah, I don't think you're living with that. But anyways, that's what I was thinking there. Quiver Dance, Tinted Lens, or Quiver Dance, Wonder Skin, they could be fun. Let's move on to Muck. Muck is interesting, and here's why. You've got a base 105 HP, which is really good. You got base 105 attack, which is pretty respectable, all things considered. 75 defense is not as good, but your HP kind of offsets that. And your 100 special defense is really nice. And you're slow, so you're probably looking at a Trick Room sweeper if you want to try to sweep with Muck. What I was thinking too is Muck's abilities, they could be better. Stench got boosted so that it gives you a flinch chance. Before it used to have like no competitive value. Sticky Hold might be okay for Muck. And what I was thinking is if you're running, say, maybe Black Sludge, which is basically leftovers for poison types, Muck gets Acid Armor, so it can boost its defense by 2. It also gets Stockpile, which you could use up to 3 turns to get up to +3 in both defense and special defense, which is nice. Because if you get to +2, well, you're now at double defense. 95 times 2, that's 190. 120 times 2, that's 240. And that's looking at just raw base stats without any EVs. Muck can probably get pretty tanky that way there. You might want to run Sticky Hold so that you can't lose your Black Sludge, because that's how you're getting some passive recovery back. So you might want to go for like a bulky Muck, maybe run like a support thing. It gets poison gas for spreading poison around. Even without poison touch, you got a good odds of poisoning something with poison jab, because poison jab's already 30%, and I'm pretty sure that stacks with poison touch too. So maybe you're running like a Venoshock or a Hex team or something like that. Maybe even Muck is running Venom Drench, which I don't see why you would run Venom Drench ever, but it's not bad because you can lower the offensive stats as well as speed of your opponents by 1, which could be good support under the right circumstances. But what I was thinking there too is like maybe you're running a support Muck. Maybe Muck's going down, you go for a Memento, cut the special attack by 2. Still more viability than Venom Drench, even though Muck's fainting. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was thinking there. You do get some support moves. Muck can get Substitute, he can get Taunt. Let's see. It's really, really horrible to suggest, but it does get Minimize, which is horrible for evasion. It gets Haze as well, so Muck can remove stat boosts off of other setup sweepers, which would be nice. Yeah, anyways, it gets some utility. It might be worth trying out, that's for sure. But yeah, that's all I really got from Muck right now. Ampharos, it's been a while since we've seen it. We got to see it in Diamond and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but we didn't get to see it in Gen 8, and I don't think it did much in Gen 7. I think it mostly did more things in Gen 6 while it had access to its Mega. Its stats aren't bad. 85 is pretty respectable defense. 90 is pretty good. 115 special attack's not bad. Your abilities are static and plus. Static might not be bad if you run like a bulky set, because now you got odds of your opponent getting paralyzed if they hit you. Plus could be fun if you're, say, running like maybe a Dedenne, which also gets plus, because now you're getting like a 1.5 times boost to your special attack stat, which 135 would definitely appreciate that, for sure. Coverage moves, you get Dragon Pulse, you get Discharge. Pretty sure Ampharos also gets Eerie Impulse if you want to run the supportive side. It gets Cotton Spore, which cuts your opponent's speed in half, and I'm pretty sure Cotton Spore also hits both targets. Oh, it gets Electro. That's nice to know. There's Eerie Impulse, by the way. Yeah, it says lowers the target for Cotton Spore, so I don't think so. Yeah, it'd be single target, but anyways, it's got some good utility in its kit. It's just a matter of figuring out the best way to utilize it, but I think it has potential, that's for sure. It gets a few moves that affect plus and minus. It gets Magnetic Flux, which raises the defensive stats. Yeah, it just gets that. I thought it might have had Gear Up, which I think is the attack and special attack variant. But that might be a Toxtricity thing. But yeah, Ampharos is kind of interesting there. It gets agility, but I don't really see... I mean, the ×2 speed could be okay. 55 speed is not bad if you're doubling it, but it's such a weird speed tier because Ampharos could do really well under Trick Room with 55, but outside of Trick Room, it might be okay if you're doubling your own speed, because you're at 75 with max IVs. If you're not max IV'd, well, you're looking at 60. So, depending on what you want to run with Ampharos, it could be interesting. That's for sure. Jumpluff. It's fast. It's a Chlorophyll Mon. It gets Infiltrator as another option for its abilities. Strength Sap is fun. Good way of lowering opponent's attack and raising your own HP. It's an Encore Mon. Really, you can lock your opponent into setup moves if you wanted to. You can go Memento, Sleep Powder, U-turn to get out of there. Fast option for grassy terrain, that's for sure. Rage Powder. Rage Powder can redirect. That said, Amoonguss would do that a lot better. Fortress. Fortress is probably more of a singles mon there. You get some spikes, you get access to Rapid Spin. It gets Sturdy and Overcoat, which both of which are decent abilities. You can avoid being put to sleep with Spore or Sleep Powder with Overcoat. You would avoid hail damage. The Steel typing already avoids sand. 90's not a bad attack stat. 140's a really good defense stat. But yeah, anyways, that's what I was thinking with Fortress there. It's nice to see it back. That's really why I made the list. It gets Pain Split. Probably by tutor, so probably not available right away. It can use Ally Switch. Which I don't like Ally Switch as a move. I hate dealing with it, but it's good to know that it gets it, because if you see a Fortress, you might want to keep that in mind. Because it's all a knowledge game, right? Like, if you know what gets Ally Switch, you can potentially expect Ally Switch. It gets String Shot, which lowers the target, like the foe's speed, and it hits both in doubles, which is nice. So yeah, anyways, that's Fortress. Donphan is just a coverage machine. Also, if you haven't already seen it, look up Great Tusk and Iron Tread forms. Those are really cool. Yeah, so anyways, Donphan gets just really good coverage. It gets high horsepower, it gets Ice Shard, it gets Knockoff, it gets Play Rough, it gets Endeavor, it's a Sturdy Mon. Endeavor, Ice Shard with Sturdy, bring back Fear. I didn't know it got Gunk Shot, but there you go. It gets Gunk Shot, it gets Poison Jab. Rock Slide makes sense. C-Bomb must have been a tutor at some point. Super powered. It's just crazy. That's really all I got. It's also relatively slow. 120 in attack and defense are both really nice. You could probably Assault Vest this thing. Breloom. Base 130 attack. Technician. Mach Punch. Bullet Seed. The new loaded dice item increases your odds of multi-striking moves to hit the maximum. There you go. Now you can just nuke something with Bullet Seed. Spore is good sleep support. That's mainly what I was thinking there. Slaking. If we get Wheezing, this thing is going to be an absolute monster. Base 160 attack. 100 defense. 150 HP. Assault Vest this thing. Or Scope Lens it. Because it gets good moves too for like crit ratio. Like it gets Night Slash. I'm pretty sure Crush Claw. Crush Claw has a 50% chance of lowering something's defense, which is nice. It gets Shadow Claw. Lower moves that have higher crit ratios, which is a fun dynamic and a good trade-off. It gets Body Slam, which is a decent normal type move. It gets Earthquake, Fire Punch, Hammer Arm, Ice Punch, Play Rough. Like it gets a lot of good moves. And like I said, if Wheezing is in with Neutralizing Gas, Slaking it has the potential to be an absolute monster because you only need Wheezing on the field every other turn. Just Truant only kicks in every other turn. Hariyama, we have Guts. We can proc ourselves with a Flame Orb. Trick Room. It's nice and slow. It's got 50 base speed. 120 attack is nice. 144 HP is good, which offsets the 60 in both its defenses. It gets Knockoff. It gets Fake Out. Really, even if Hariyama just goes down, at least you can help set up the Trick Room by having that Fake Out there. Camerupt, it's slow. It can also be a good Trick Room mon. What I was thinking too is if you want to run a physical Camerupt, since there's only 5 points difference between attack and special attack, you can maybe try Anger Point. Maybe switch to something that straight up resists ice, go for Frost Breath, maybe even become something that resists fighting, go for Storm Throw. Maximize your attack and then go from there. Camerupt gets Body Slam, it gets Earthquake. Just going to name off a few of the physical moves just because we mentioned Anger Point, but yeah, it gets Heavy Slam and Iron Head for steel coverage. It gets Rock Slide. I also didn't know it got Rock Polish, but I don't think Rock Polish is going to do that good on this kind of set. If we're not going for the physical set, we do get Flamethrower and Fire Blast. We get Flash Cannon. We get Heat Wave. Lava Plume could be nice for self-activating a Colossal. Overheat's just a straight-up fire nuke. Some support moves it gets. We get Will-O-Wisp. We get Yawn. What else do we get with Camerupt? It's a Stockpile Mon, which is kind of cool. You can get rid of your 4 times water weakness too, which is nice. With Terastallization. Stockpile can help it patch up that 70 defense and 75 special defense as well. But yeah. Sorry. I just coughed and scared one of the cats apparently. Yeah, so anyways. I didn't realize coughing was so scary, but yeah. Alright. But yeah, anyways, going back to that with Camerupt, I think it's got potential, for sure, under Trick Room. Staraptor, we It's a moderately fast Intimidator. It also gets Reckless. We could slap Brave Bird on it. Close Combat. We could also go Final Gambit and Choice Scarf. If I can spell. Final Gambit, Choice Scarf. Could do that too, because Staraptor does have good HP. I mean, a max Staraptor is 192. That's spicy for Final Gambit. I mean, we can also go U-turn. No, I don't know why I went Protect. I was thinking U-turn. Murkrow, it's a Prankster. We can get Prankster Tailwind, Prankster Taunt. That's the biggest thing I want to say. We do get Eviolite. Feather Dance, most likely as well. It could be pretty disruptive. I think it even gets Thunder Wave, which is interesting. Honchkrow, we get Scope Lens, we have Super Luck, we can go Night Slash, go for a guaranteed crit. We can try to go for a crit boosted Sucker Punch, Brave Bird, hit really hard with this thing. We do have a 125 base attack, which is nice. 105 special attack is good too. It gets Dark Pulse, it gets Psychic. I wouldn't be surprised if it got Hurricane. Let's just find out real quick. No, it doesn't. Okay, so maybe not as good on the special side, but it does get Nasty Plot. So Nasty Plot could be good. You can go Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot, Psychic, Heat Wave. The options are there for Honchkrow. It's just that it's... Oh, and I did see Thunder Wave there, so there you go. It's just that it's kind of slow, so you would need talent support or really good redirection support. 52 defense and special defense is not saving you. Mismagius. 105 speed can be nice. You could probably run either Nasty Plot or Will-O-Wisp for support options there. Nasty Plot to boost your special attack. Will-O-Wisp to just take things down a peg on the physical side. You could even maybe run Choice Scarf. Run Thunderbolt. Take Nasty Plot out for a second there. You could run maybe Power Gem. And even Choice Scarf Will-O-Wisp wouldn't be bad too, because you'd get some speed. Because really, outside of Dragapult, I don't think there's many things that we would have to worry about outspeeding us too. Because 172 with Choice Scarf, let's see, that would take us to 258, so we would definitely be faster than Dragapult. So really, this may just could be okay. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily game breaking, but it could be okay here. We can get Thunderbolt, we can get Power Gem, we can get Shadow Ball, we can even terrestrialize it into a Ghost type to get even more damage off Shadow Ball if we wanted to run Choice Scarf, which would be interesting there. I'm also mentioning this too, like items with terrestrialization, thinking that the two are going to work, but man, I'm gonna be a sad boy if you need to have a hold item for a terrestrialization, like Mega Evolution. I'm gonna be a sad boy if that turns out to be the actual case. Moving on, Electros. It can be bulky. It gets Levitate. It's an electric type. Basically, take a pick between your attack and special attack. Build around that. You can go for Coil for attack. Run Fire Punch, Wild Charge. Where is it? Wild Charge. You could run like a physical set, Superpower, or you could run a special set. You get Giga Drain, you get Thunderbolt, you get Discharge, which that'd be nice pairing next to a ground type. And then that way you can potentially spread paralysis while doing damage. Acid Spray to soften some things up. Yeah. Gastro Acid can nullify abilities, which is kind of a nice thing as well. Throat Chop, good damage. It's dark type, can deal with sound users. It can phase with Roar. It gets Rock Slide. It gets Light Screen for a little bit of support. It gets Hone Claws for accuracy. Food for thought. Okay, and finally we have Pyroar here, last on the list. So Pyroar, ability-wise, we get Rivalry, which could be interesting. It raises the power of your attacks by a quarter if you're attacking something with the same gender. Trade-off being it reduces your power by a quarter if you're attacking the opposite gender, which could be interesting depending on how you want to run your Pyroar there. Like, maybe you're a little bit worried about, like, say, something that's guaranteed to be male, so you want to run Rivalry just to get a little bit of damage. Back in... It was somewhere in the black and white era of VGC with the genies. Someone played Haxorus with Rivalry just to get the extra damage on those three, so that's where I'm kind of going with that idea with Rivalry. Unnerve's not a bad ability. Prevents your opponents from eating berries if they've got the berries that reduce super effective damage. Not bad. And Moxie, boost your attack stat if you KO something. Only problem though is you got base 68 attack. Yeah, you got base 68 attack, so probably Rivalry or Unnerve might be a little bit better. But Pyroar gets some interesting moves. It's also got a really good 109 special attack stat and 106 speed. So anyways, as far as coverage goes for Pyroar, like, you get Dark Pulse, you get Flamethrower, you get Heat Wave, you get Hyper Voice, which Hyper Voice could be interesting because, you know, you could throw on a Throat Spray, you naturally get Stab with Hyper Voice. So now your special attack is raised up as well. So going back to some other coverage options here, it gets Will-O-Wisp and Yawn, which are great support moves. It gets Taunt, another great support move right there. Overheat can just do an insane amount of damage there. If you know you're going to lose your Pyroar, you can always go out with a bang and go for the Overheat. And take a look at some of the other moves there. Entrainment can get rid of a slightly better ability on your opponent's end, maybe. I don't know, maybe they have something like Clear Body, you want to get rid of that so you can lower their stats, you can do that maybe. Noble Roar, sound move, which might see a little bit of play too. Lowers the target's attack and special attack by 1. Basically it's parting shot without the switching, so that could be nice on Pyroar as well. Snarl's nice, great utility move right there. Workup could be okay because that's a way of guaranteeing your stats get boosted for your special attack and your attack if you really want to try to make Moxie work. Yeah, so that's kind of what my thoughts on Pyroar there. It could be interesting coming back, but be sure to let me know what you think about Pyroar as well as the rest of the list there. So yeah, that's where I'm going to cut this video there today, guys. Just a quick recap of some of the things that I think could be fun that are returning, just because it has been a rather longer video. Quick recap, we got Persian, we got Golduck, we got Venomoth, we got Muck, we got Ampharos, we got Jumpluff, we got Fortress, Donphan, and Donphan's 2 new forms, which that's going to be interesting to see. Breloom, Slaking, Hariyama, Camerupt, Staraptor, Murkrow, Honchkrow, Mismagius, and by extension, Misdreavus, because, you know, Eviolite Misdreavus is bulkier than Mismagius, Electros, and finally Pyroar. So, yeah, anyways, that's my thoughts on those returning bonds. Obviously, there's a lot more other things that are coming back there too, but if you guys were sold on any of these ones, because there's about 18 of them there, now that I'm thinking about it. If you were sold on any of these 18, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if there's anything that you've seen that is coming back that you are interested in, also let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, I will see you later.